to the Power of One. Today, we are going to extend love and care to all the soldiers and all the veterans. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and we understand that self-care is important. Today, joining me is Ronald. He's going to tell us about his journey with the United States Army. Welcome to the show, Ronald.
Thank you so much, Melanie. I appreciate this opportunity, and thank you for reaching out to me and just giving me this opportunity to talk about what I do, what I did in the military. Again, it was something that was literally almost like a passion of mine. That's how I was able to do it and be, without, self-promoting myself, as successful as I was because it is a passion. And in dealing with the issues that we encounter in this line of work, I literally enjoyed what I was doing. So to that extent, going into what I actually did, again, Ron Beverly, I spent 31 years, 9 months, and 15 days in the United States Army. My past experience is quite vast, from being an instructor to an applied suicide intervention trainer, unit victim advocate, master resilience training people to deal with comprehensive soldier fitness, basically training people to be able to handle stressful situations, anything that we might encounter within our military daily walk. I represented anyone who was assaulted, sexually assaulted. I would be the one that would go out and assist them. I was also a casualty assistance officer. So when you look at the Arlington cemeteries, then you'll see someone kneeling down and talking to the family. I did that as well. So with that, I think that was the latter part of my career to do those things. I started out as a radar analysis specialist and administrative and instructor. So I had a pretty broad career within the military, most of it spending time preparing soldiers for combat, which I did and enjoyed immensely. And, that pretty much was the meat of my career, but the latter part was more the direct contact with people from all branches, which I enjoyed because I had the opportunity to work joint base meaning I had Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. I had everyone. So I enjoyed that immensely.
Being a soldier, I can imagine that so many things occur in their daily life that is unthinkable. How do you prepare them for that?
Fortunately, the military, in its infinite wisdom, came up with this program called Comprehensive Soldier Fitness. It was a program that I was selected to partake in, and it actually prepares people for catastrophic situations. It's positive psychology. I obtained my training at the University of Pennsylvania, and basically the training entailed talking about things that you could possibly encounter that could become catastrophic, that could make you spiral out of control, and trying to prepare you in advance for these situations. So trying to put in your, what we call rucksack or our backpack or whatever, things that we can resort to try and help us when those devastating times happen in our lives. So with that, what we call comprehensive soldier fitness, it was not only just preparing your mind, but we know that the military prepares your body, but the comprehensive soldier fitness part worked on your mind. And that's what's so drastically important, because you know as well as I how devastated post-traumatic stress disorder is. And this is a piece that we try to incorporate prior to someone actually encountering traumatic situations that the normal or, lay person may not be able to handle. So incorporating this training in all of our aspects of daily work, constantly, addressing those things in just daily training was immeasurable.
I can't imagine a soldier going to war. And after a soldier returns from war, what is put in place for that soldier as far as like their self-care? Because I can imagine like the things that they're seeing, and then they're coming back to their day-to-day routine. Is there some type of self-care treatment for them?
Yes, there is. Again, the military has incorporated a lot of programs to try and help with that. We have counseling available. And the best part about that is now there's peer counseling. So we train each individual to deal with those things, because some people, they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable talking to others about that, especially doctors, who they'll say, you don't understand my situation. You have no idea. So with the peer counseling that we've developed, it actually helps that soldier to soldier, Marine to Marine, to be able to cope with different situations and prepare you to try and deal with those situations. So with regards to when you're coming back from a combat zone or something to that extent, there is what we may in layman terms call a debriefing, to try and get some idea about where you are. The bad part that we found is that a lot of people weren't disclosing their full feelings, because that meant I won't get to see my family if I disclose everything that I'm talking about. Because like anything, we have cues. Okay, yeah, they may be suffering, so we got to keep them a little longer. So they can't get to their family right now. So that's one of the obstacles that I see we were encountering, but it became easier when they were able to talk to other people outside of the regular psychologists or psychiatrists, who they just look at, okay, you're a doctor. You have no idea about my personal experiences. So it was easier for us to sit down and speak to people and get them to open up about their actual experiences. And as you questioned, yes, there are so many different programs that are available to them, which is such a blessing, which our predecessors didn't have that. When we talk about the Vietnam Wars and things of that nature, they didn't have that, and there are so many programs within the Army as well as within outside entities that allow us and afford us that opportunity to get assistance.
Being a master of resilience training, were you just working with the soldiers, or were you working with the soldiers, their families, and was it ongoing support?
Yes, very good question. What we have two programs. We have programs that deal with the immediate active or reserve members. And then we also have people such as myself that work with families. So it's in place. And in my position, I actually work with the civilian management that dealt with soldiers or airmen on a daily basis. So there are two facets of this, but there are people like myself that work with the families, and we just deal with the families themselves. Because honestly, in my case, and in many of our cases, I'll tell you, and you hear it a lot, a spouse is the most difficult job in the military, period. Hands down. I couldn't be a spouse. That's to be honest with you. I couldn't do it because I know many times I had to come home and say, honey, I'm going away. So she's left with the family, and that's devastating. But I knew my job, because at any given time I could be called away, not come back home, whatever the case might be. But my spouse, they didn't really sign up for that. I did, but my spouse didn't. So as a spouse, that was support that you absolutely needed. That was support that was vital, that the military has in place. So to your answer, yes, there is two portions where the family has theirs and the active military has theirs, but we all come together to serve that one purpose. And that's making sure that everybody has that mental assistance that's so very vital just to sustain you. So yes, we have it in place, which is great.
How do you prepare a soldier for war? Because anything can go. There could be a child, there could be an adult, but I can't imagine that they would see a child and have to act in a second. You know what I mean? How do you prepare them for that? And how do you prepare them for what may come, which will be very gory? How do you prepare soldiers for war?
There is no definitive answer to that. All we can do is try and prepare them and give them knowledge about situations that have transpired. It's just like saying, okay, somebody is getting ready to suffer the most heinous thing you could possibly imagine. I could tell you about that, but to know about your true preparation, all that I can do is tell you about it. All I can do is educate you about it. All I can do is just try to inform you. Your actual response to that, I'm hoping when I tell you the information that I provide you with about that rucksack, that information that you're going to have to reach back on, or that person that you're going to have to reach to for support, those are the things that I try to impart on you. Those are the things that I try to give you so that you will know that there is a resource when you encounter that atrocity that we're talking about. You may have the stench of death for the next year. You may walk across dead bodies, decapitated bodies. You may see it. You may see someone come up and see the most horrific thing you could possibly imagine. And how do you respond to that? How do you actually train somebody for that? All that we can do is explain these are things that happen. All that we can do is explain to you these are things that have taken place. And I want to prepare you so that you understand we are here to support you. We are here to talk to you, to work your way through this. You are not alone. Each and every person that goes into combat is aware of this. And we know that we are our brother's keeper. We know that we are there to support you, to help you through this situation. It is not our choice to go over here and, do the things that we have to do, but it is something that we subject ourselves to for the love of our country, for the love of the person, the woman, man that is beside us. And it is something that through our training, through the conditioning that we go through, it's something that's instilled in everyone, just like anything. It is a learned process. And that's what we try to do, is incorporate this learning into our everyday walk, into, whether it's physical training, whether it's into our conversation. We have to try and educate you, because the last thing we want is for this to just be something that just pops out of the clear sky without having some knowledge. So we try to talk about the most heinous thing that you could possibly imagine. We talk about that. We talk about those things that you only see on television or think that it's not real. So we talk about those things, but it's challenging when you're talking about grabbing an 18-year-old from the city or from, rural wherever, and then say, hey, now you're placed in this situation. See, a lot of times when we're talking about the military, a lot of people just say, hey, I want to go in the military, and not literally take into consideration what you're really stepping into. Many times we get people that just say, I just want to sign up, silly enough to say, I like their uniforms, or I like something to that degree. And I explain to people on a daily basis, listen, it's not a game. There are no pause buttons. There are no timeouts. There are no, all right, I'm sleepy, I'm tired. This is real. And in this, we try to explain and share our knowledge from senior people to new people that are coming in. This is what you will encounter, not may encounter rather, you will encounter. And how are you going to respond to that? What are you going to do? So if I can put you in a real world situation, I want to know how you're going to respond. I want to know what you're going to do. Is that perfect? Is that the exact way to get an answer? No, because no one actually knows how you're going to actually respond. But all that we can do, even with the rearing of our children, we explain to them, this is what life is about. This is what you're going to encounter in life. And we hope that what we have imparted in our children will resonate when that actual time comes. And that's what we're doing with our military as well. This is your training environment. This is what we're going to prepare you for. And I'm hoping the training that we provide will resonate when it becomes applicable.
You tell that you have a passion as a great victim advocate, which is priceless. When soldiers are in need, were they able to get in touch with you beyond normal hours? And I don't know what it is in a platoon, but here in the real world, not the real world, but out here, I used to always tell my victims, and I still tell my victims, Here's my cell phone number. You can reach me at any time. I don't do 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can reach me on a Sunday. You can reach me on a holidays. You can reach me after hours. Is that the same that holds true for our soldiers and our veterans who may wake up in the middle of the night and need to speak to somebody? Like you said, that peer support is priceless. So is 24-hour victim advocacy or 24-hour support available for soldiers and for veterans?
Absolutely. We have no hours. It's just a quick story off the beaten track for a moment. I didn't get a job because I didn't put down the hours. I applied for a job as a advocate, and they said, I reached out to their HR department and tried to find out, well, why didn't I get that job? They said to me, you didn't put down your hours. On active duty, there are no hours. We don't shut down. We're there 24 hours a day, 365 in some days, 366 days a year. So no, we are available all times. I carry 2 phones. Everyone knew that you can reach me anytime. I kept a government vehicle next to my vehicle, and I kept a uniform inside my government vehicle. So in the event that I'm wherever I am, if I got to jump in and be in that capacity, whether it's I get an announcement from, Department of the Army that somebody just died and I got to go be the one to go knock on the door, change uniforms. So no, it's 24 hours a day. They all are made aware of our accessibility. They know that you can reach us at any time. There are no limits. If you wake up and you find yourself in any type of struggle, call. We're here. I'll come with whatever you need. Whatever you need. I'm not a phone call away. I'm a tap, a rock throw, whatever you need, I'm there.
Master of Resilience Trainer. I love that word. Tell me something. How many Master of Resilient Trainers were there in each platoon? So I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, because I know it was probably hundreds and thousands of soldiers in the United States Army. So was there one placed in each platoon?
Yeah, what they tried to do is let's go with a unit or a company. Okay, each company tries to at least have a Master Resilience Trainer. Now, as a Master Resilience Trainer, you're training everyone. So what happens is you become resilient, you become able to share your knowledge as well. So if we're talking, let's just talk, I won't even go into regiment, battalion, all of that stuff with you. I think the simplest way to explain it to you, just look at it as every company or every unit would have a Master Resilient Trainer of their own, so that they are able to address the people within their unit. So within that subunit, there might be a platoon, which is breaking down even further. So at some point, somebody from that unit would become a resilient trainer. There's Master Resilience Training, and then there is a Master Resilience Trainer. Okay, so a trainer may be at a battalion level, or, and then it breaks down to a company level where there's training available to you. But each company, for the most part, would have a Master Resilience Trainer. That's where the direction that the Army was moving before I departed. Okay, because I know that when it first came about, as I had mentioned before, this training, when it was presented to me, just real casual before it actually had gotten started. A command sergeant major who worked for President Obama I met, and he explained to me about this new training that was coming about. And I'm always interested in training. I enjoy training. But when he explained it to me, I wasn't familiar with it. And it was because it wasn't out. So I went and did my research on this individual who was telling me about this, specific training. And there was training named after this individual. So I said, okay, I think it's good for me to try and inquire about that. And just so happened when the opportunity came up, they reached out to me and said, hey, would you be interested in this training? And I actually was I was in the second class at the University of Pennsylvania for this training. And that was back in, I think, 2014, maybe about 2014, I think, is when I took part in that training, which was some of the best training I've ever had in the military, because it is something that I take with me everywhere, whether it's walking the street, whether it's dealing with friends, family, loved ones, and all of that training just kind of naturally morphed into everyday life. So this is something that is able to even keep me resilient, because I know with me personally, how this training affected me is because, I was away from my family quite a bit. My youngest son, who was 2, he thought I was a visitor, and that used to hurt me so bad. When I would try and speak with him on the phone, he wouldn't really talk with me. He would just make sounds. And my wife said he didn't really like having that type of relationship. When she would say, "You want to talk to Dad?" he would say no. And when he talked to me, he asked me, "Can I come visit?" And that hurt, because he really had no conception in his little mind that I live there, but I'm not there. So he saw me as a visitor. So when he would talk to me, he'd say, "Dad, can you come visit?" And that would just eat me up. I'm Dad, but he still looked at me as a visitor. So that was just so challenging for me. And even learning about something as simple as a vacation, I didn't appreciate a vacation. To me, vacation was good. I'm not in the fight right now. I can relax. Just give me quiet. But that's not a vacation for my family. They need to just shut it all down. They need to just get away. They need to relax. You hear the same old thing: work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. And I needed to learn that, because I worked hard. Oh, I knew how to work hard, but I didn't know how to play hard. I had no concept of playing hard other than, hey, I hear them saying that. I don't really know what that means. But that comprehensive training that I learned, it taught me how to shut it down for a moment, how to get away, how to relax and focus on self, how to understand what my pleasure points are, what I enjoy, and to even get back with my wife. It was so beneficial to me when I came back the first time and they had a program for me. And, I think I got all the answers. No, I don't need anything like that. But they sent me away to a retreat, a family retreat, to reintroduce myself to my wife. And I literally had no idea how rewarding that was, because I still thought I knew. It's my wife, I know. But we learned how to talk. We learned how to communicate with one another, and it gave me the understanding to even comprehend so much better. So a lot of times when we have quick conversations, it's about our perception. This is what we think you said. But it taught me how to say, "Honey, so what I understand you to say," and it just allowed us to develop a better and closer relationship, because they taught me how to communicate. They taught me how to receive what someone was saying, because you can text the message and then you can talk to somebody and it has completely different significance with regards to that. That's how a lot of conversations are. You can say one thing but mean another. So when you can sit and say, "But I heard you say this, but what did you really mean?" So just understanding and giving someone that opportunity to really articulate their feelings makes that thing of communication so very important. And many times that's a lot of the disconnect. When you talk about our soldiers and you talk about the people who have been in combat zones, that they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to share the pain that they had. And a lot of times there aren't people that they want to share it with, because they say, "You don't know what I'm talking about. You got a degree and that's all you figure you know me, and I don't want to talk to you." So that was the best part about this training, because it gave us the opportunity to talk to people like us, be able to talk to people who have experienced what we've experienced, and to be able to say, "Hey, I need help." Because we can say, "Listen, I've been there. I've done that. Let me help you. Let me get you some help." So this is again one of the most important pieces of training that I have ever personally been a part of, and I'm so thankful that this is something that the military has incorporated in the daily walk within its confines.
I thank you so much for your insight. I thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge with me. today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. You have a blessed day.
To all the soldiers and to all the veterans, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for serving our country and for keeping us safe. Peace and love.